When your coding partner is an AI, something profound shifts in the story of software development. For decades, pairing meant two chairs, one keyboard, shared tension, shared laughter, shared frustration. Now the second chair is still there, but it is occupied by a probabilistic engine trained on half the internet. Tools like GitHub Copilot, OpenAI's Codex, and Tabnine arrived with a bold promise. What if your pair programmer never got tired, never needed context switching, and could autocomplete entire functions in seconds? In controlled experiments, the impact looked almost miraculous. A widely cited GitHub Copilot study found that developers using the tool completed tasks 55.8% faster than those without it. That is not a marginal gain, that is a step change. The gains were especially dramatic for novices and developers transitioning into new domains. The study authors noted that AI coding assistants hold promise to increase human productivity and could lower the barrier to entry into software engineering. For someone learning a new framework or wrestling with unfamiliar APIs, the AI acts like a tireless tutor. It suggests patterns, it scaffolds boilerplate, it fills in syntactic gaps. In many ways, it recreates one powerful benefit of pairing: you are not alone with the problem. But here is where the narrative gets interesting. In mid-2025, the research group METR conducted a study with experienced open-source developers working in code bases they knew intimately. These were not novices. These were engineers who had internalized their systems. They expected AI to speed them up. Instead, they took 19% longer per task on average when using AI assistants. Even more fascinating, participants believed they were faster. They estimated a roughly 20% productivity boost. The metrics told a different story. The slowdown was attributed to reviewing, validating, and correcting AI suggestions. The AI was often directionally correct, but not precisely aligned with the architecture or idioms of the existing codebase. Engineers had to inspect, adapt, and sometimes undo what was proposed. This introduces a new kind of cognitive overhead. In classic pair programming, the navigator questions intent in real time. Why this abstraction? Is that edge case covered? The dialogue sharpens thinking before code is committed. With AI, the code appears instantly, and the developer becomes a reviewer of machine-generated output. The mental model shifts from co-creation to oversight. The AI can get you unstuck. It can surface patterns you might not recall immediately, but it also introduces subtle friction. You are no longer only solving the problem, you are filtering a stream of plausible but imperfect suggestions. There is a trade-off emerging. For juniors or for anyone exploring new territory, the AI assistant can feel like an accelerant. It compresses the learning curve. It exposes idioms, it offers examples. In that sense, it partially restores the learning amplifier that early pair programming provided. Two average developers working together could tackle more complex problems than either alone. Now one developer plus a model can sometimes do the same. But for seasoned engineers embedded in mature systems, the calculus is different. Deep architectural knowledge, contextual nuance, and institutional memory are difficult for current models to fully capture. The AI does not understand why a workaround exists. It does not feel the scars of past outages. It cannot intuit the political constraints of a stakeholder who rejected a similar refactor 3 years ago. And then there is the deeper question: what kind of pairing is this? ThoughtWorks Technology Radar has cautioned that AI coding assistants, while powerful for individual productivity, do not replicate the team-level benefits of human pairing. Pair programming was never just about speed. It was about spreading knowledge, lowering work in progress, and cultivating collective code ownership. It made the team stronger, not just the individual contributor. An AI assistant works for one person at a time. It does not overhear. It does not challenge assumptions from a different mental model. It does not build shared context across the team. When a human navigator says, "I do not understand why you are doing it that way," that friction becomes a learning moment for both people. When an AI suggests a pattern, it does so without social negotiation. Human pairing builds trust. It reveals weaknesses in a safe environment. It builds empathy. It teaches developers how to explain their thinking, how to receive critique, how to compromise. Those soft skills are not a side effect. They are foundational to high-performing teams. If every developer now has a personal AI co-pilot, the productivity curve might improve at the individual level. But what happens to the collective? Does shared understanding erode? Does architectural vision fragment? Does knowledge concentrate around individuals augmented by machines rather than distributed across people? There is another subtle shift taking place. In classic pairing, knowledge flowed laterally, peer to peer. Today, knowledge increasingly flows vertically, from a centralized model trained elsewhere into each individual's editor. The social network of learning flattens into a hub-and-spoke pattern. The AI becomes the central node, and that changes culture. We often frame AI as a tool that replaces tasks. But in development, it may be replacing interactions, the micro-conversations, the why did you do it that way, the spontaneous refactor discussions, the quiet mentorship that happens when someone leans over and says, "Let me show you something." If pairing made us more human in our work, AI pairing risks making us more mechanical in our collaboration. We optimize prompts, we evaluate outputs, we correct syntax, we move faster, but we may speak less. The irony is striking. For years, we feared that robots would replace developers. Instead, we are becoming reviewers of machine output, curators of probabilistic suggestions, managers of synthetic teammates. The robot has not taken our chair. It has changed the nature of sitting in it. So here are the questions worth sitting with. If AI makes individuals faster, how do we ensure it does not make teams weaker? If junior developers rely heavily on AI for scaffolding, how do they build deep intuition rather than surface fluency? If experienced engineers spend more time validating machine output, are we shifting from creators to supervisors? And perhaps most importantly, what does trust look like in a world where your most frequent collaborator does not have a face, a career trajectory, or a stake in the outcome? Are we designing a future where AI restores the spirit of pairing in new form? Or are we quietly trading human apprenticeship for algorithmic assistance, one autocomplete at a time?